everybody, it's Debbie here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. And if you like what you see, maybe you would even consider hitting the subscribe button and sticking around for a while. And if you are a returning viewer, oh my gosh, you guys are awesome, every single one of you. So welcome back. And yeah, so this is one that you may have been waiting for. So I had mentioned that I would show you how I seal my diamond paintings, and there are so many videos, and basically it's the same way for all of them. The only difference is maybe just in the application and what you use. So I buy this Tombow monoliquid glue and it's called Aqua, and it has a pen tip on one end of it, and it has this spreader tip, this rubber spreader tip on the other end of it. This still has a little bit of paper on it, but that's okay. It's a newer bottle. So anyway, this is what I use, and the reason that I use this is because I use so much of this glue for paper crafting and for other projects. I love this glue, and I buy it in bulk on Amazon. So when I buy this, I buy a whole case of it. Yeah, I buy a case of it, this stuff, guys. So I'll put a link to that down in the description box. Now, this is pricier than some other glues. I've just become so confident in using this because it's such a good glue that I don't want to change. It's become habit now. I love this glue. So the first thing that I do is make sure that my diamond painting is really, really clean. So to do that, you can use either a toothbrush. This is an old toothbrush that I've used for mixing stuff up, for spreading stuff. I just keep washing it out like a paintbrush. So it's just an old brush. It's actually getting rather ragged. But you can also medium bristle, I think I said that, so that it won't dig up the drills when I brush the painting off, but it will get the grit out from between the drills. And by grit, I mean when you place your drills, there's little bits of wax and stuff from your placer on some of them, and there's probably dust because it's taken you more than maybe just a little bit to do your diamond painting. This one took me a while, and it's a square drill. And you can also use a paintbrush. Now, this is a little bit stiffer bristles. This is actually maybe even a little bit stiffer than this. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to brush all directions, like that, like that, like that, like that, in all directions on your diamond painting, okay? You want to get all the debris out of here. So I'm having a hard time working around my tripod here. So I'm just going to turn this on a little bit of an angle so that I can actually brush it straight. And the reason you want to brush it straight is because you want to go down your drill lines to get the stuff out in between. So it might not look like there's anything on there or that anything is coming out, but when you get down to the end here, oh, there's a hair that came out. My cat. Yeah, see, and those things just float through the air, and sometimes I don't even see them. So I am going to brush every which way on this, and I'm going to do it for a minute or two to make sure that everything is out of this. I'm going to turn it. I want to try to keep this in the camera frame so that you guys can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to go in every direction. And because of where I am, it's just easier for me to turn this painting and go at it than it is for me to try to go the directions, because I'd be banging this setup, my filming setup, all over the place. Oh, my fingernail just caught that. See, it's just really hard. So I've already done this once. And I'm just going to place my painting sideways because that's the only way that I can guess. This is a 30 by 40 centimeters square drill. So it's got a fair bit of resolution to it. The original painting here, you can see the eyes in it and things, like you can see the distinct eyes in it. This is called Midnight Wolves. It's a pretty diamond painting. I did this one for a gift. Now, this is the only version of this painting that I could find was in this size. Otherwise, I would have done this, because of the detail in here, I would have done this a little bit bigger. Remember, the bigger your diamond painting, the higher the resolution in your picture when you're done. So the other thing that you want to do is make sure that all your drills are down. And one of the ways that you can do that, now I've already done that. I did it before I brushed it, but I didn't have the camera on, so I didn't show you. Go over everything with a rolling pin. Now I have a vinyl mat. It's like a foam vinyl on both sides and kind of a foam in the middle. That rubbery foam. So it has some give to it. So if I go over this with a rolling pin, you can actually hear the drills going pop, 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 pop. So any drills that weren't in there completely tight, you can hear them popping down between the other drills. Now I've already done that, so you're not going to hear it, but I roll it this way. I roll it on an angle to get everything. I do it like I'm making a pie crust, guys. I roll it in every direction. So make sure that your drills are all down, and then make sure that your painting is clean. Those are the two key things. And then the rest is pretty simple. You choose your glue. You spread a really thin coat over top of this. You don't want to seal your diamonds, at least in my opinion. If you want to keep the sparkle, you're going to use something that will dry crystal clear. And the key is to not have a big layer of your sealing liquid over top of your drills. So these are actually so straight that they've started to create a defined line here, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to try to maybe crooked up a couple of those drills, make sure they're still down there. You can still see it, but anyway. So I'm going to use the wide end of this just because it spreads a little bit faster. I'm going to make sure that there's no hard buildup on the end of this that's going to come off and stick to my diamond painting. And then I am going to just start in my top right corner, and I'm going to put a thin coat of this down. Now, what I'm looking to do is to get down in between all the drills so that I can get some of this glue to soak right down to the canvas. Now on these square drills, it's harder to do, I found, but it doesn't take nearly as much glue to do it. It doesn't take nearly as much glue to do it. So I'm just going to keep doing this until I have my diamond painting covered with glue. And I do use a lot more on the round drills. There's all those big spaces in between the round drills. Those little triangle shaped, they're not even triangle shaped. They're like that little, I don't know what that shape is called, but that little diamond shape almost that you get between drills because they're little circles and they're not filled in tight. So that has to all be filled in with glue. But on this one, it's probably not as big a layer. Now, I'm having a hard time squeezing this, and it's not because it's hard to squeeze, it's because I have arthritis. So yeah, I'm not going to blame it on the glue. This glue actually comes out pretty easy, and it's easy for me to use even with arthritis. But I think I'm going to put a little blob down and then spread it. It's just easier on my wrist and my fingers. I have to switch hands. This doesn't dry instantly when it's not a thin coating between two pieces of paper. It dries pretty quick, actually. But now that I'm about halfway, I'm going to take a key card. This one actually has some tape wrapped around it. But I am going to make sure, and I don't know if I've seen anybody else do this or not, but I like to go over my glue and make sure that it's pushed right down in between those drills, and it doesn't look like there's very much right there on that white. There. I'm going to go over this and make sure that, and this is how I'm going to make sure that I don't have any layer of glue above my drills, and that's how I'm going to keep my, sorry, I was trying to talk over that noise, and that's not good. So doing this is going to make sure that I don't have a puddle of glue on top of my drills. And going both ways will make sure that I push it down in between the drills and it doesn't leave there. It doesn't leave that. I didn't do too much. There's a little bit coming off the edge. At the edge, I'll just spread it out so that I don't have a puddle here. But the reason that I don't want puddles is because that's what'll take the sparkle away on your drills. Now, for me, one of the important things now is to go around my outside edge. I'm just going to go around the outside edge, squeezing and putting down a layer because I don't want any of my outside edge drills to pop. There, push that down in. There. So finish this corner up. And I use quite a bit of glue. Like I might use half this bottle of glue. I think I'm down to about here, so not quite half, on this size of a painting. So I'm going to put a little blob down here. There, I'm going to put a little blob down here and I'm going to spread it out so I can show you. So I'm just looking for spots that don't look wet right now to make sure that, because the glue may have sunk right down in between those drills. This is a fairly liquid glue and it kind of self-levels, which is really good for this. There. I think I've got everything. So I'm just going to put the, I'm just going to put the lid back on this and grab my key card, and I'm going to just do this once more, make sure I didn't make any puddles. So by doing this in different directions, I am taking any glue that's puddled and I'm shoving it down in between the drills, just like, it looks like there might be a little extra there, so I'm just going to move it. Yeah, I'm moving it. But yeah, so what I'm doing is making sure that I've got it down between all the drills. This is like if you were grouting a tile or something. Make sure you got it down in between all the drills. And then the next step is to leave this to dry for about 24 hours before, at least, before you go to do anything else to it. So I got a little bits of puddling at the end here. So I'm just going to go along and push that little bit of glue right into that outside edge between the I was just going to say between the tiles. It is light grouting. So yeah, and that's all I'm doing here is just going back, and any of that little bit of glue that dripped out the edges. So very little, I'm telling you, like there was very little glue that dripped out the edges. So I'm just putting enough on here to spread over and to allow it to get in between. That's why I go over it a few times and let it dry. So this will be dry to the touch in about an hour. I'm going to leave this for 24 hours before I do anything else to it. So I'm going to show you a painting that I did, that I sealed yesterday. So this has been sitting now for about 24 hours. You'll notice that it's not, this isn't as floppy as it used to be. So you can see, like I can hold this and it just doesn't roll. I mean, it's still, but it's still flexible. So that glue stays flexible. It doesn't get hard and it won't crack. So if you want to seal your paintings, and then if I'm going to just stack them until I do something else between them, I put a piece of parchment paper between them or a piece of wax paper between them when I lay them down in a stack. So I just want to show you guys, this is what it looks like when it's finished. I'm going to bring this down so that you can get good and close and look at the sparkle. Look at the sparkle still. So this is that Tombow glue. It's the same way. These drills aren't going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. These were the drills that were on that round painting, and the glue wasn't very good on this painting, and they were popping off. They kept popping off, and I had to keep going back and replacing them. It wasn't even a poured, this wasn't even a poured painting, I don't think. It just felt like a double-sided sticky tape. So it wasn't really sticky like a poured painting. But look, there's no drills popping out of that no matter what I do with it. Like, it's good. And the sparkle, this is why I use that glue. If I'm going to pay a lot of money like I did for that Midnight Wolves, this is a cheap one. This is a cheap one that I bought bulk. I bought a bunch of these. These are kind of my in-between paintings. But look at the sparkle. Look at the sparkle. I'm impressed with that glue. So another reason for me to never switch from the Tombow mono glue. I love it. I love it. Love, love, love it. Yeah. This is a cute little painting too for a cheap one. So I'll put, if I can find the link to where I bought this painting, I'll put it down below. I'll put the link to the Midnight Wolves painting. It's from diamondart.ca. You can just go to diamondart.ca and check out their paintings. They are a Canadian site, so they've got a lot of Canadian content in their pictures, which I love. Love, love, love. And yeah, so that wolf painting will dry like this too, and it had more sparkles in the drills anyway because they were better quality drills, so it should be even sparklier than this one. Sparklier, is that a word? Anyway, that's it. That's how I seal my diamond paintings. Once again, this is it, and I'll link this by the case, how I buy it, from Amazon down below. But you can buy this at Michael's. You can buy this at any craft store, I believe. It's just a great, and you can go to the Tombow website and order it as well. So if you enjoyed this video, maybe you would consider sharing it on your social media, on your Facebook or your Instagram. And that's the best thing that you can do to help me grow my channel. And in the meantime, everybody stay safe, take care. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now, everybody.